We love casting spells.
So dudes, welcome to another operator how-to. The new operator Fenrir is a defensive trap operator, equipped with 5 throwable vision blocking proximity mines. Now I know you can't pull off a man bun, but Fenrir sure can. And the new Dread Factor Battle Pass for Rainbow Six Siege, of which of course I am thankful to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. The progression map for the most part goes out in 2 straight lines, with some offshoots here and there if you want anything else on the side. My favorite skins are on this top row, including a full set for Callie, complete with a fully kitted MP9 and her main sniper rifle. If I'm going to be a cybernetically enhanced organism, I might as well have drip in the process. The sniper's sick, it's got some 3D action going on there. To start the season off with more drip than your friends, you can get your hands on the Premium Battle Pass. 1200 R6 credits gives you early access to the new operator Fenrir, and if you get the premium bundle, you get 20 battle tokens and 2 breach charges. As always, I'm grateful to Ubisoft for sponsoring my content. To buy the new Operation Dread Factor Battle Pass, go to the link in the description and learn more. Attackers who walk into the radius of these so-called F-Not Dread mines will be hit with a nearsighted status effect. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this status effect is not the same thing as a full blinding smoke that blocks vision right in front of your eyes. This is a near sight that cuts off vision 5 meters or so in front of you. This is needed because the only counterplay you have to deal with the active state of these mines is to shoot them sort of like a Malusi trap. The mines take a second to kick into effect, so if you swing immediately and too wide off of their cue, you can still be vulnerable in a gunfight. Additionally, if you are very close to your opponent while they're under the mine's effect, they can still see you. Drop.
Oh my god, I have to wait for it!
One dude.
Oh my god,
Why would she die?
Oh.
The trap is active with the click of a button. Fenrir has 5 of these mines, but he can only activate 3 of them at a given time. When the trap's not active in a concealed state like this, it's bulletproof. The trap can be activated with their locations revealed through walls like this.
Dread mine on.
Additionally, you have a UI on the left side of your screen indicating the exact area the trap is located in. To memorize map callouts more efficiently, simply play the game too much and learn them through osmosis. Inactive traps are marked in white, active traps are marked in blue, and active traps that are deploying gas are marked in red. The trap can't have its status changed while red, leaving it vulnerable to be shot. So in some ways, the skill floor of Fenrir is done with this little micromanagement game. Sometimes you can bait opponents into the trap's radius, then activating it when they least expect it. Now its presence is seen, naturally, but if the enemy doesn't have the tools to get rid of it, they're forced to make a decision to push it or not. There's another mechanic in the form of codes to activate the traps. At any given moment, Fenrir can activate up to 3 mines. But if one of them is destroyed, he'll only be able to activate 2. If that's destroyed, he'll only be able to activate 1. You get the idea. Lose a trap while it is active, and you lose the ability to transfer that activation to another inactive trap. Still, you might be surprised how long you keep your traps up for, just because the gadget is quite impressive and smarter players will just find a different route rather than risk pushing the gadget if they drone it out. Additionally, Brava is a pretty decent counter to Fenrir. The gadgets aren't exactly difficult to spot. Inactive Fenrir mines will just overheat and explode, but active Fenrir mines you can actually convert to use for yourself. To get the mine to work, you got to think about how easy it is for the attackers to escape its effect. I think a good overlap here would be how you would use Thorn's mines. Generally speaking, anywhere that you would least expect is a good idea.
What are you doing watching yellow? What are you doing? Thank you.
Got him. I fucking love this guy. Place the trap in a spot where they'll have nowhere to go once hit by it. Or at least leaves them vulnerable for you to swing and pick them off. For instance, most people will just sprint right past this outdoor furniture by the coastline service entrance. They might cut left or right or try to run deeper into the structure, and they can't go through the door unless they want to take a gunfight. So a moment or two of indecision can get you a free pick. Basically, you can stack the mines in a way that forces the attackers to take a punishment for panicking and running ahead, which is something that may happen more often than you think.
I had like 3 of them.
Outside service. Got one. In service now. I got him. Now, I know this is informational siege content, and some people will say that's only going to work against coppers. But these people are ignoring that professional Siege players still get hit by frost mats and Kapkan traps. Mistakes happen, and you shouldn't discount them as opportunities to make plays. After all, that's basically the entire gameplay loop of a trap operator. Nobody's perfect, and trap operators take advantage of that. As far as effective placement of Fenrir mines is concerned, a lot of the time you're not going to be trying to get a perfect placement. Sometimes a placement is better than no placement. The mine can be thrown very far. You can yeet this thing. You can even throw it outside. Do with that information whatever you want. I want to make it clear that the logic of the mine is that it's not a smoke in the sense that you might think of. The idea is that the gas induces a hallucinating effect, triggering a near sight. So while somebody in the radius of the trap isn't smoked off by anything, they can't see you. This means somebody who isn't in the range of the mine can still see Fenrir while the affected teammate cannot. It doesn't have the same kind of concealing effect of a conventional smoke. So you can see how it's a bit of a double-edged sword. He's not really a replacement for smoke. On one hand, it gives Fenrir the ability to play very aggressively and take down a blinded opponent, but it also means if he's not careful, he can get fried by an attentive teammate. The mines have a multi-purpose usage as intel gathering and early warning devices, while making it nigh impossible for the attackers to take the type of gunfight that they want to take. So it's not really a crowd controlling ability. It doesn't force movement, but it does persuade them very heavily. Anything that can fuck with vision and the ability for that to take place is going to be pretty powerful in Siege, especially when you combine the blinding effect with the fact that you need to shoot the trap to get rid of it. Now, if all of that didn't sound good enough for you, Fenrir has a pretty solid primary weapon option in the form of the MP7, with easy to control recoil and a moderate rate of fire that makes hitting headshots simple enough. He also has a bailiff for sight setup and either barbed wire or a bulletproof camera, so he can fill the role of a sight setup operator if you need it. With either a Saiga semi-auto and a pistol or the MP7 and a bailiff, you'll always have a shotgun for sight. Fenrir is a powerful addition to the game right now, especially with the aggressive gunfight-oriented style of play that's so heavily favored in the current TDM meta, as it's so called. With solid weaponry and a gadget that can shut down a gunfight with the click of a switch, Fenrir has the ability to act either in defensive or aggressive postures as a sight anchor, as a lurker, and if you're feeling up for it, an aggressive roamer as well. There's really not a single thing that this guy can't do. The pocket shotgun makes him useful for sight setup as well, so there's really no downsides to bringing this guy on your team. He is a solid S-tier pick. Anticipate this guy to be a must-bring in competitive and a potential ban competitor with Azami and Solus. Personally, I don't mind this type of balance philosophy from Siege. I think a lot of the TDM meta stuff is a bit of a cope, but I do understand why the argument is there, and I don't think that other characters should get nerfed just to stop people from playing the game the way they're naturally going to do so. I don't think Fenrir will have his gameplay loop changed too much over the course of several months, so this video should remain evergreen, but if it ever doesn't, I'd be happy to revisit this character at a later time. Thanks again to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. Check out the Dread Factor Battle Pass at the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next Operator How To. Thanks so much for watching. Deuces.